step is sight. When you look at a wine, you need to hold it up to the light or to a white surface. And what you're actually looking for is clarity and brilliance. And you'll find that a young white wine is much lighter in colour. Also, it also implies that if it's quite light, that it could actually come from a cool climate variety, such as a Riesling. When a wine ages, it changes, a white wine ages, it changes to this beautiful amber or straw-like colour. So you can see the difference, it's a much darker wine. Now these are both Rieslings, this is a young Riesling and this is an aged Riesling, and you can see the difference between the two. One is quite light straw in colour and the other one is amber. This is very different to red wines. In fact, the opposite happens with a red wine. So here I have a 2007 Shiraz and a 1996 Shiraz. When I hold the younger of the Shiraz up to the light, it displays this beautiful purple ruby hue. When I hold the aged Shiraz up to the light, I can see this beautiful brick red colour. So it's actually much lighter in colour. And you can see a distinct difference between the two. The next step is swirling the wine. Now, really important, when you swirl wine, you need to hold it by the stem, and that allows the wine to breathe, and it also lifts the aromas. As you're swirling, you can actually notice, and I will pick up the older of the two, when you swirl a red wine with a little bit of age, like this one here, you start developing what are called legs or tiers down the side. It's probably very hard for this to be seen, but I can see these legs or tiers running down the side. What that actually indicates is how full-bodied a wine is. So if it takes a long time for the tiers to get to the bottom of the glass, you can assume that that's a very full-bodied wine and it's very high in alcohol. So you can see it's actually on this particular one, it's lingering, it's sticking to the glass, and this particular one, the tiers are running down the glass much more quickly. So that tells me the indication of the alcohol in the wine and also the viscosity of the wine. The next step is smelling the wine. It's important to swirl the wine to lift the aromas. The smell will depend on what wine you've chosen. All aromas are essentially open to interpretation. Aromas can be fruity, they can be woody, they can be earthy, or they can be floral. Having a look at the ones that we have here, I have a young Riesling. What comes to mind is it's got zesty lime and a lot of minerality. The aged Riesling has honey, toasty characteristics, a little bit of lemon. The younger Shiraz has beautiful deep fruit and a little bit of dark chocolate and perhaps a little bit of cinnamon. And the aged Shiraz, is like stewed plums and a bit of leather. It's an interesting wine, that one. Often wines that are very fruit forward are associated with warmer climates or New World wines. If a wine is a bit more restrained on the nose, then often that implies it actually could come from an Old World wine or a European wine. The most important step is sipping. Now, tasting is incredibly objective. It's really what you like and enjoy that matters. You need to learn to trust your own palate. You need to swirl the wine around before you taste. That's a must. When you taste a wine, and I'm tasting the young Riesling at the moment, a wine could be considered sweet or dry or even possibly spicy. What I'm actually getting on this particular wine, this is a young Riesling, I'm getting a lot of acid, a lot of minerality, and it's actually quite a dry wine. Now, in contrast, I'm actually going to pick up one of the reds here. I'm actually going to pick up the oldest red here, which is the 1996 Barossa. Oh, and that's full of, it's beautiful. The fruit hasn't dropped out. It's quite a little bit of sweetness, very good acid, and beautiful dark cherries on the palate. That's a lovely wine, very elegant, and it's got a lingering finish. And finally, savouring the wine is probably one of the most important steps. Once the wine's actually out of your mouth, either by swallowing or some people like to spit, then see what you get in the next minute. Does the flavour linger? Does it stay on the palate, on the tongue, or does it fall out very quickly? Some will linger and some will drop out. The most important thing is that you just enjoy the experience.